This new workflow install a WordPress website. We already have a virtual server with Apache, MySQL and PHP, and we have two DNS records set up to point to that web server. So let's run the workflow and see how fast it deploys WordPress. We can see on Slack that our workflow with ID number 2 has been started. On the right side, we can see the status and output of our workflow. While the workflow is still running, we can go through the YAML configuration file to see how we set up this workflow. In this workflow, we have two workers, one that creates the WordPress database and user, and the second one that does the deployment of WordPress application. The database worker creates a unique database and user password credentials, as we can see here. The WordPress admin credentials are also generated at this point. The second worker inherits the parameters of the database worker and also depends on the first worker. The web interface can also be configured from the YAML file. As you can see now, there are some options on the web interface, options that have been set up in the configuration file. I have shown earlier that the WordPress admin credentials are generated by cat. If we want, we can also give the option to the user to select his own user password for the current setup. For that, I will enable the override function in the config file, so I can add two more fields in the web frontend form. After refreshing the web interface, we can see that there are two more fields added to our form. Let's go back and check how our deployment is doing. We can see that our database should be generated already, so we can double check that in our MySQL admin tool. Let's refresh again and see if our workers finished. Meanwhile, we can also check the logs to see how it's going on there. And it seems that our workflow has finished, as we can see from Slack as well. Now the only thing we need to do is to browse our deployment URL and see how a standard WordPress installation looks like. Since we made some modifications to our workflow, let's run it again, but this time let's change some of the parameters. Slack alerts us that a new workflow has been generated. Since the workflows are identical, I will fast forward the screencast until the end. As we can see in our Slack channel, the WordPress deployment should be ready, so we can check the new URL. That's it. Thanks for watching.